Taurus, hello and welcome to your weekly reading for the week of November 17th through to the 24th. So, what a weekend. I'm late. I absolutely skipped your reading. And, chariot, it feels like there's a lot of forward momentum. Mercury is entering a retrograde period where we won't want to make don't make any sudden moves, but also make sudden moves because you have Uranus in your sign. And it feels like perhaps what you would consider to be a sudden move has been something you've been contemplating for quite some time. Uranus entered your sign, I think maybe 2 years ago or 3 years ago, maybe longer. I remember when Uranus initially entered Taurus, I actually had to pay $500 randomly one night at a restaurant I worked because I just didn't want to have to deal with any issues around missing money. So I just got $500 out of my bank, paid it, and essentially covered the cost of someone's dinner. And it feels like you guys have similar stories of diplomacy, but really just strategy. And, I feel that when we implant our intentions into our own mind with meditation, we get that forward momentum that maybe, again, feels like a sudden move, but it's not, because you've known that, certain people try you, they try your patience, they test your limits, and you want to go around them, which is totally okay. But also when we can involve people in ways that feels like mutually supportive, they, in this reciprocity, they give a little, you get a little, and your receiving actually opens them up to receive too. It feels that you're moving more towards relationships like that, networks of support. With Pluto squaring Mars and Leo as it enters Aquarius, I sense that this is a new intention that you're going to allow for people to bring in a new story. You're entering a new portal. You see that there's that archway that leads to a beautiful scene, and two cups stand. So there were maybe a group of people who exited your life, and it was I feel a choice on everyone's part to make the decisions that were made, and those two cups that stand speak to a meeting of minds. So there could be a better suited opportunity that's on the horizon, whereas if you stay glumly wishing for yesteryear in the shadows, you might not get to have the sense of confidence and cutting away from intentions that didn't grow. We have the sun. Jupiter is in Gemini, so I love that we have your reading framed in this cerulean blue. It's just giving our emotions have such a refined edge with that Uranus at 25 degrees this week, and there is an opposition of the sun. So it feels a bit like your emotions can lead your thoughts. They can lead you to peer beyond the bushes that you're afraid of and start to, I would even say, live now, this new viewpoint with your expanded sense of self from these stories of diplomacy. And then also remembering that your experience is something that, if you read about it in a book, Taurus, you might come to see things from a new perspective. You might find that you're the antagonist. You might come to find that you're the hero. And these things are just archetypes. So we can change our archetype depending on what we focus on, because what we focus on grows. One card from the Rose Oracle deck, please, for Taurus for this week, and we'll look at Venus Day. Lineage of the Rose. I really don't like this card, but here we are. It feels like a cascade and opening, something that you're going to be led into feeling more confident about, more serene. On Friday the 22nd, we have the sun move to your 8th house. So it will be giving this 8th house energy, maybe just allowing for you to really see how much you're in alignment versus what you thought you were. Maybe a year ago when you had the group that ended up leaving, they retreated, they left the flock, they flew off into the sunset, and you continued in your own direction, which feels like you are now coming into your your stride. And it feels like you've turned a page. Divine wisdom, Sophia, Gaia, Sophia, and the lineage of the rose kind of make more sense together, because there's this brightening, this crown chakra opening, and a gathering. So that's interesting, because it's a group left, but with this Ace of Wands, it's a number of hands that will play a role in developing this new crowning achievement, this intention. And it seems that you have to really embrace the part of you, as Jupiter opposes Mercury, that can get overconfident. It's okay to be overconfident as long as we're determined, joyful in our actions, and we can maintain a steady outflow of communication and deliver that communication from the heart. It feels like Uranus being in your sign and ready to retrograde. Watch out, world. Let's see when it's retrograding to 24 degrees. Saturday, around 5:50 a.m. Saturn day, when Saturn is direct at 12 degrees and 44 minutes Pisces. Taurus, this is your 11th house of social groups, social networks. So yeah, people did leave the flock, but it feels like the lineage of the rose has something powerful. I'll read Divine Wisdom. Sophia. The empowerment message. Human wisdom comes from personal experience, but divine wisdom is unknown to our life experience. When we ask for help, we are asking for guidance from a source greater than us, a great unknowable mystery. When we receive it, it's often life-altering and affects us in ways beyond our comprehension. So that's where the integration is key. It needs to be integrated over a 6-month period, a lunar cycle, not just, oh, I'm enlightened. Oh, everything's changed. Oh, look at me now. It's like, how do you live with that? I am coming to terms with balancing out my studio time. I just finished a program, and there's one in the group who is in a graduate level program getting her master's in painting, and she's required to be in the studio for 40 hours a week. And with that much time in the studio, you would end up making quite a bit more than sporadically dropping in and out, which part of that nugget is to give ourselves credit for the research, the foundations that we're establishing, the practices that we keep returning to, and figuring out how to utilize those as an essential point in whatever it is that we're building. So if you are a basket weaver and you spend a lot of time on the treadmill, you might come to see that you need to develop some kind of item that allows for you to work with your hands while you're walking, or that walking could be crucial to making sure that your body is in proper alignment and motion. And working out issues within the physical vessel feels important because of this sun card. And it feels like we can't be all brain muscle. We need to balance out our physical well-being as well, Taurus. The Gnostic goddess Sophia, who brought the material world into being, arrives to show how fate and destiny operate in relationship to synchronicity. When you least expect it, opportunities and meetings spring up as if out of nowhere, which, this can be something of that nature. The reality seems so fixed until that gouache figure appears. Or is the gouache figure really all that's real, and this beautiful scene is just a vivid daydream? Your life begins to work out, and you sense your alignment with higher purpose and power. Trust, you are divinely protected and directed. Practice the act of faith before results. This is an essential key in co-creating your world. Practice the act of faith before results. Let's see what the lineage of the rose has to say. Interesting. Let's see if they work together. These times, changing and divisive, is what our soul chose to be here for right now. We are a part of the collective team led by the goddess. That's what this also represents to me. By the mother of us all, to reweave the thread of the rose back into the tapestry of humanity, to make spaces where all the people feel cherished and safe, to heal and be healed from destructive patterns of patriarchy, to be part of the return of the goddess to earth. If you've been doubting your path, you're being called to look within and trust the whispers and weavings from caverns deep. The way of the mystic rose is walked by few and known by heart, not mind. Try not to overthink, rather trust the threads that are woven deep. This card contains within it a confirmation of the inner call and a reassurance that you're not alone in it. The mother of us all thanks you for being part of these changing times for humanity. She acknowledges your devotion to doing your best to support yourself and others in the journey back home, to themselves, to each other, and the earth. She wants you to know that she is available to guide you every step of the way. Sing, speak, and dance with her. You are led. And the soul inquiry is, how are you being called to commit more deeply to humanity and the earth? So how are you being called to commit more deeply to humanity and the earth? And how can we practice the act of faith before results? It's an essential key to co-creating our world. All right, let's get a sacred symbol, Taurus, and we'll wrap up your reading. Time is at the bottom of the deck. And right now the moon is in Cancer, and the moon will move to, it started in Gemini this weekend, and it will move into Virgo by the end of the week. The week will finish out at the moon at 15 degrees Virgo, so that's your 5th house. So time does heal all wounds, but also the symbol of time is Saturn. And Capricorn, your 9th house of beliefs currently has Venus there. So you guys might be redeeming a sense of value innately. Oh, look, new life. Yeah, rebirth. In this concept of time, we also have the Ankh, which is representing the infinite soul. So you guys are at a very, very impactful juncture to understand how you can co-create your reality by feeling that you're already there, where you'd like to be. And I sense that when we realize that these 3 cups, the flock that left the group, was for everyone's best and highest evolution, that's when we'll have this sense of making sense of the forward momentum, because you guys, again, might have been busy all weekend, busy all week. You might feel like there will never be a moment where you're not busy, but you will find the quiet times, the pockets of really being able to enjoy yourself in your life, I feel, if you're willing to keep those feelings nurtured. So Leo represents 10. Linda Goodman is who I'm going with, because I really feel like the sun manifested this whole shebang, this whole solar system. She-bang, literally. The Big Bang is a she-bang, and the sun is like leading the charge on that. So we have Mars at the end of the week at its station retrograde degree. Well, it'll be 6 degrees, but 5 is this 5 that's giving also this Uranian energy that by the end of the week will be to 24 degrees. So you guys will be receiving these impulses, this intuitive knowing in different ways that does require more sensitivity, but sensitivity to the right things, sensitivity to the feelings that will move you forward in your life, sensitivity to expressing your passions more. I feel you have an opening there, and maybe you've blocked that out because you thought, well, who would want to know what I have to say? And I feel that you guys have got a community going, or else you can really quickly manifest one, because you all rule the 5 senses. And being in a body requires that we experience those on a regular basis. So you guys can very much so start to develop this symbiosis with the outer world, to where you're very attuned and connected with nature if you so choose to be. And this will propel you guys to this forward momentum of expressing your passions, allowing for yourself to transform, because that's truly, I feel, what is needed during this Mercury retrograde, is picking up the pieces that you couldn't see, and why people departed or why things didn't work out is because you have to assimilate in a way that's very in integrity. I don't mean you have to give up who you are, but assimilation is just sort of like using the discarded parts in a way that empowers you, Taurus. Thank you guys so much for checking out this reading. I hope you guys have a great week ahead, and until next time, all of my aloha.